I see some wonderful people here. Hello. How is everyone? Como estão? Hello, hello. Sorry for being late, but I have to be completely honest. I was doing some cupcakes. Excuse me. Just a little bit of everything you can see in one of my lives. Me being extremely clumsy. Well, I think we're set. I'm so sorry for having to recur to some jazz music to lighten up the mood. I'm really sorry for that. And again, I'm sorry for being late, but I had some cooking stuff to do, and I had to be responsible for not letting the cakes overcook or be raw. But they're all set. They're resting outside, which gives me some time to finally start this off in a bit of a different genre. From now on, I'll try to make these lives a little bit shorter because I think that the lives have been very long so far, an hour and a half. I'll try to make them in under an hour, but if not possible, we'll just keep talking because that's what we do. If we can, we talk. Once again, what is Rodrigo drinking? Yeah, this has become an important part of my life, figuring out what I'm drinking. This one is another of those fruit punches that we sell here in Portugal, but this one is melon flavored. It's actually quite nice as well, quite sweet. So I want to know how this week was for all of you. Manuel, oi Manuel, como estás? Once again, já há muito tempo que não falo contigo. Literalmente há 10 minutos. How have things been? How was this week for you all? Manuel, como é que tem sido a semana? On Tuesday, my classes started again, my online classes, and on Wednesday I had an exam, my first exam of the semester. I prefer not to comment on that, I have to be honest, because it wasn't one of the best experiences I've had with evaluation exams. I have to be completely honest, but I really hope that things will work out in the end. So, correu bem, a minha sobrinha vai mudar-se para cá durante a semana. A sério? Mas quê? Mas a Matilde vai começar a viver aí contigo durante a semana? Ou vai mudar-se para aí agora a partir desta semana para sempre? Oh, wow, espetáculo. That's awesome. So, some family stuff going on with Manuel. I wish to know whoever's in the live, say something, comment on anything, be comfortable. Here in my channel, I love to see people sharing their opinions and sharing how life has been during these days of quarantine. Because I figure that this hasn't been easy for any of us, and so today I imagined. Hi, Caitlin. Hi, how are you? I'm very glad to see you here. Very glad to see you. Welcome to my first. I think it's the first time you see one of my lives, isn't it? Agora estou a ver se ponho o meu portátil mais rápido. Yeah, Caitlin, if you figured, I'm Portuguese and so is Manuel. He's from my hometown, and that's why I'm responding in Portuguese. But I'll try to translate. Está mais rápido porque as aulas à distância dela começam na segunda. Não, ela vai se mudar temporariamente durante a semana. Ok. So what happened here in Portugal and what Manuel is talking about is that starting next Monday, the kids from 1st to 12th grade will start having classes on TV. I don't know if that's something that is usual in your hometown, but it brings back some memories, especially for my parents and my grandparents, of something called telescola, teleschool, um, which pretty much sums up everything and all students of the nation, all nation students, um, in their subjects, so that they can still keep up to the material they need for any class. RTE have been doing that for a while. Oh, you're from Ireland. I didn't know that. That's nice. RTE have been doing that for a while. The teleschool having school on TV. When did it start? So well, as I was trying to explain the idea of these next lives. I had the idea of starting to talk about making a little bit of a throwback to some of the previous Eurovision Song Contests from the 20th century and also from this century as well, as it shall be, and just commenting on the songs, on the overall show. Some things that stood out for us. I want you all to comment on some of the things that have been more in your attention from each contest. And I decided to start with 1999, not only because it is my birth year, but also because for me, I feel like that contest was a breaking point, ending a chapter and beginning a new one in terms of Eurovision. End of March. Okay, we're only going to start that next Monday. All students third cycle will have presential classes. Is that true? The year we lost the language rule in orchestra. Exactly. That's why. That's why I decided to start off with this one because those two aspects of the songs in Eurovision were of the aspects I had cherished most as a Eurovision fan, and I think that's a bit why I am such a huge fan of the contest in the 80s and the 90s. Exactly, the golden years of Ireland as well. You called Thursa? No, no, Manuel. That is the secondary slash high school. 10th, 11th, and 12th is what we call the high school slash secondary school. Yeah, that's it. Third cycle is from 7th to 9th. Another thing that happened was that most of the national exams for those students have been cancelled for this year. I never thought that would happen. I have to be honest. I'm a university student, so things are a little bit different. I've been having online classes through Zoom since, if I can recall, the 20th of March, I think. And they are going to end around the 12th of June. So hopefully by that time things will have controlled themselves, and probably we can go back to university to have some to do the final exams presentially, so that I can finally finish this. Okay, the 10th, 11th, and 12th grades will have presential classes. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't. I wasn't too sure on that. Thank you, Manuel, for fixing. So, 1999, that funny year where when this creature came to Earth. Um, I saw this contest like last week with Manuel, and he's a witness, so he can confirm that. Um, and as I said, it was a contest that really stood for ending some things that I really enjoyed in Eurovision, like Caitlin has mentioned. It was hosted in Jerusalem by Daphna Dekel, who represented Israel in 1992, Yigal Ravid, and Sigal Shachmon. Yeah, probably. I think that's it. Broadcasted by the IBA at the International Convention Center. Okay. This one was after Dana International one with Diva. First of all, commenting on Diva, I figure, and I really understand why it won, but 1998 was a very strong year, and I think that Diva would have been far from my personal favorites, even though I like it and swing along with it as it plays. The year where, yeah, also that's right. The year when Dana International messed up everything on stage, falling and breaking the trophy. Poor Charlotte Nielsen. I figure how bad it must be for her, being pretty much the only one that didn't get to receive the Eurovision trophy. I have to feel sorry for her just because of that, because it was really messed up. Who was my favorite in Birmingham? Let me start by saying that Ireland was one of my favorites. I really love that song by Dawn Martin. I think it was. I know her first name is Dawn. The song was "It's Always Over Now." I really like that song actually. But my top two from Birmingham were the UK. With Imani and Where Are You, and France, the poor Marilyn that got second to last with C'est pas où aller, je sais même pas où aller. Yeah. Strangely enough, as you can see, I have weird tastes in Eurovision, and most of the times the songs that come very close to the bottom places tend to be my favorites. And 1998, in a way, was an example of that. Overall, I think I'll try to do this by following the order of the countries that performed in each Eurovision and giving some comments along the way to each song, and finally talk a little bit about who my favorites are and some situations that I would like to point out. So starting off in 1999 was Lithuania with Aiste and Strasdas. I want to know your opinions on that song. I think it's an interesting idea for a Lithuanian song. It was quite nice. I have to be honest. Not a favorite because I find it interesting in a way, but I also find it quite weird. I appreciate the difference in the voice and the way Aiste sung it. Was unique, was different. The instrumentals as well brought up some cool aspects of music. And it came 20th with which for me was kind of expected, not doing as well, since out of the 90s, 99 for me was the weakest year. Even though I find it quite strong as well, with some good songs. Now, Belgium was second, with Vanessa Chinitor and Like the Wind. Um, I'll try to keep as straight leveled as possible, so that you guys don't actually get the idea before I tell who my favorites are. Um, so that you guys don't immediately guess which ones I liked most. I'll try to keep my comments a little bit on the same edge, on the same level of excitement. Like the Wind was another very mysterious song, um, with a very, very nice voice. Vanessa sung it very well. She had a very soft but powerful voice at the same time. It felt quite fragile in a way. I liked it. Um, I like the idea of the staging as well. Oh, even though it's something that wasn't really in our minds as Eurovision fans in 1999. When we think about older contests like 1999, I don't think it's something that we think a lot about, the stagings, but I think that this one was a good example of how they were working to do something different and something that would stand out. Speaking of standing out, we go now to Spain and Lydia with No Quiero Escuchar, the one that got last place, sadly. And she won the Barbara Dex Award for Worst Dressed at the Eurovision. I have to say, I'm a fan of the song. The song is very nice. Yes, indeed. I'm not a fan of the dress, and I figured that the way she was wearing brought the whole performance down a bit, and I think that that's probably why her song wasn't that voted, because it was a very nice ballad, a very nice Spanish ballad, um, with some nice elements all around. Next, we have Croatia with the one and only Doris Dragovic and Maria Magdalena. Doris, who of course represented Yugoslavia in 1986 with one of my favorite songs ever from Yugoslavia, Željo Moja, was absolutely beautiful. Uh, uh, a great conception of a Balkan ballad, or what can be considered as a Balkan ballad. Maria Magdalena was more upbeat, but still it had that charm, that Balkan charm that the Balkan area's music tend to be known for. And I think that's why not only a lot of fans supported it, not but also why I like it very much. Then the UK with Precious and Say It Again. Say yeah, say the words I want to whisper, say it again. This has nothing to do with it, because actually this is one of my least favorite UK entries from the 90s, I think. Okay, it fit well to the time being, 1999. That's time zone, that time, that era of music. I think that a song like "Say It Again" would really be in something like that. Um, but it's not a genre that I really appreciate. Not something I would listen to for hours on repeat. Overall, in the day when I really want to listen to some good music. But what can I say? It's 1999. It's Eurovision. I'm weird. I'm weird. I have weird tastes, so I kind of like it as well. Now, Slovenia with Darja Svajer for 1,000 years. She also represented the country in 1995 with Prisluhnimi, which for me is the my favorite of all the Slovene entries, I believe. What Another huge example of that typical woman singing a powerful ballad with a great voice, which I absolutely love at Eurovision. And it's hard for me not to enjoy a song in those terms. For 1,000 years, out of the two, I have to say it is the weakest. But for this year, I think that overall it was one of the strongest. This was another one of the examples of countries embracing the English and abolishing the national language rule, which I don't agree on, because I would love to hear Daria sing a song in Slovenian, as I also think it would have been better overall for the country. Then we have Turkey with. God, I'll just try not to completely ruin the pronunciations, because I think this is also something that I get a lot in my live streams, is ruining foreign accents. Tugba Onal and Group Mystic with Donartik. Donartuk might be something like that. Turkey is one of the best countries at Eurovision for me, and I'm very sad that they haven't returned since 2012. And this one really screamed Turkey. It really screamed ethnic, like Turkey is known for at Eurovision, and why they are so good at sending music like that. It also was a good example of something that people could dance to, really move. It was very nice. I have to say, very nice entry by Turkey. Norway with Stig van Eyck and Living My Life Without You. Another country that sent another song in English, and this one I have to say not a huge fan of. Overall, the style, I'm sorry for saying this. I really hope I don't offend anyone by saying this. I think that this one should have deserved the Barbara Dex Award, simply because I don't understand the idea of going to perform a pop song like this, a simple pop song, wearing basketball jerseys, basketball gear. I just don't get it. I don't get why Stig had the idea of doing that. It didn't help the song at all for me. And you might think that it is weird for me to say that the way a person wears could add or subtract anything from a song and a performance. But I don't know why, but I consider myself as a person who actually cares about the way I wear. Even though I see that a lot of people tend to think of me as a person that feels weird at wearing. I don't see a lot of people wearing the way I wear here in my surroundings. But João Duarte Catarino, olá, hi, how are you? Bem-vindo. Acho que deve ser a primeira vez também que te juntas aqui a falar da Eurovisão 99, talking about Eurovision 1999. I was going on Norway, saying how I disliked the outfit and how simple and not special the song actually was for me. That pretty much sums it. Tudo bem, obrigado por perguntar. Espero que esteja tudo a correr bem com a quarentena. And now we go to Denmark with Trine Jepsen and Michael Teschen with This Time I Mean It. And in contrary to Norway, I have to say that this one for me, I see that a lot of people consider this song to be way too simple or even quite boring. But I actually like this one. This one had a certain appeal to me. The idea of playing the guitar and singing a typical love song, it was nice. It weirdly reminds me of their entry for this year, Say Yes, with Ben and Tan. It's in a way weirdly reminds me of that. The idea of the couple performing and he has the guitar, love song. I know that the songs are completely different, but I think that the idea, the conception, were kind of there, mixed. So another nice song for Denmark. And now we go to France and Naya with Je veux donner ma voix. In 3 words, not a fan. I have to be straightforward with all of you. Not a fan of this one.
Então,
How are you? Estás bem? Estás bem? Precisas de ajuda?
não.
My grandmother, everyone. France, yeah, not a fan of the song, not a fan of the voice. For me, it was a little bit too nasal for me. And Manuel, you're a witness. I think you might remember what I told you when I saw this performance with you live this last time. That I said something, and I really hope I don't offend, because this is something I really worry about. I don't want to offend anyone. This is just the way I feel around and about a performance, a song, something that happened for 3 minutes. It's not the idea I have of the artist overall, because I have to consider myself as being uncult because I don't. It's rare when I actually follow a Eurovision artist as much as the other people do. But Naya, the final part of her performance made me feel like she was trying to impersonate Celine Dion, but it didn't work. That come on, and this was another chance of you looking at me as someone who can't impersonate singers. Yes, thank you. Yeah, overall not a fan. France have been so well throughout the 90s at Eurovision, and they had to end it at such a low mark. I have to be honest and be completely sorry for France, since j'aime j'aime la nation française, j'aime la langue, et j'ai beaucoup des amis en France, and I love a lot of French songs at Eurovision, but this one was just not one of them. Foi o primeiro ano, exceto o 73 e 76, que foi possível um país cantar numa língua estrangeira. Bem pensado. Não tinha lembrado desse pormenor. João is telling that this was the first year between, except 1973 to 76, when a country could sing in a foreign language. Yes, that's right. I remember 99 as the year that abolished the rule completely, But in that area of time, there were also a lot of countries that sang in English. Thank you for reminding me. Obrigado por lembrar. Especially in comparison to Le Dernier qui a parlé, ce qui a raison. That for me is one of the most weird situations in Eurovision ever. I so wanted that song to win over Fångad and Stormwind. I like Carola as well. Great artist, a great voice, great energy she has in her performances. But Amina was just incredible. This was one of the best songs ever to sing to be sung at Eurovision. For me, absolutely beautiful. Now the Netherlands with Marleen and One Good Reason. I tend to compare this one a lot to the one they sent in 2003 with Esther Hart. I don't know why, but both were wearing white dresses. Both singers were blonde. The songs are similar in a way. I often get these two mixed up, but I like One Good Reason the most out of these two. It is a very nice song. Had a country feel to it. Was very nice overall. Quite professional and quite in the genre of music that was growing in that time. I don't know what you guys think on it, if you agree with me or not, but this is what I have in mind when I remember that song. Não, eu não me considero poliglota. João is asking if I'm a polyglot. No, I don't consider myself. I just speak Portuguese and badly sometimes. I try to be okay at English, but I know I could have been a lot better at it. I have a little bit of French also because some of my cousins are French. Even though I've lost pretty much all of it after the ninth grade. And a little bit of Spanish, even though I never had classes of it. But I think that's also a bit because Portuguese and Spanish, there's a lot going on if the languages are similar or not. I think that they, in a way, are similar because we can easily understand one another if we're speaking in a moderate pace. If the usual happens when Spanish people talk too fast, it's very hard for me to understand 100% of what they're saying, but I can try. I think I can have a simple conversation in Spanish. I don't think I've ever tested on that, but I think I can. I don't know. Also, I'm learning Norwegian. I love the language. I'm trying to learn Norwegian through Duolingo. Sim, também tenho familiares na França e na Suíça. Beijinho, gros bisous à tous mes amis en France et en Suisse. A big kiss to everyone, a big kiss and a lot of embrace to everyone in all over the world, but especially in some of the countries I cherish the most. Moving on to Poland and a language that I do not speak any of it overall. Oh God. I love seeing these names that are hard to pronounce, just for me to test myself on trying to pronounce them. Mietek Szczecinak with Prishtunie Mochno. I'm so sorry. And Poland tends to be one of the countries that, especially in the 90s, that some of the songs weren't really high valued by the overall fan community, but I became a huge fan of. I love the song. I think this is a very dramatic and powerful song, which fits exactly in the type of songs I easily tend to enjoy. Very nice, and I have to say, quite underrated overall. And now, Iceland with Selma and All Out of Luck, the famous runner-up, which many people think should have been the real winner. Out of the two, I like this one the most. I think this one should have won, also because Iceland deserve a chance to win Eurovision. For a very long time, they've sent amazing songs, but it's very easy for them to be underrated and be underappreciated by either the juries or the televote. It depends on which year. All Out of Luck has the feel of a typical upbeat song. It is nice. It really pumps you up, but not a personal favorite. I have to say, not a song that I could really consider as a favorite, as most people do. Direto. Hello. Tu estás a falar com meio mundo agora. Tu? Estás. Meio mundo está a conhecer. Another special moment with my grandmother. I think this is the first time that I actually consider. I think that my grandmother had the idea of walking by to my videos. Uh, I never expected this to happen. Cyprus with Marlene, not to be confused by the Marlene of the Netherlands. I actually don't know if the pronunciation of the names are different. With Tanaya Rotas, no. This one I have to be straightforward and say not a huge fan of. Once again, pop song, upbeat song, very very common in the late 90s and the early 2000s. But this one I'm not a fan of, I have to say. It's just something in the feel of the entry that I really don't get by. It really doesn't attract to me as much as other songs do. Now the actual winner with representing Sweden, Charlotte Nilsson, and "Take Me to Your Heaven." This one for me is another example of those songs that probably in the native language could have sounded better. Tusen or not. I really like the song in Swedish, but I think that's just me. When it comes to Eurovision, I really enjoy songs that are sung in native languages. This one was okay. It was an okay winner. Once again, another pop song that's for me. I have to be honest, who didn't really have that wow factor that I really enjoy in the song and makes me really stand by it. And now, com muito gosto, Portugal, who was represented by Rui Bandeira and I don't know how to pronounce this. I really don't. Como tudo começou. Okay, I'm just kidding. Como tudo começou. That means how it all began or how it all started. I'm suspicious when I say that the song was underrated, but it wasn't that good. It was nice. Rui Bandeira is an historical singer here in Portugal. Especially his daughter, Bárbara, has been becoming more and more famous by the second. And you can really tell that Bárbara is Rui Bandeira's daughter because of the way they look. They pretty much look like one another, although that Rui is the male equivalent of that. They both have blonde hair, blonde long hair. They both sing well, I have to say. And I've not been listening a lot to Barbara's music, But today we're talking about, and it was nice. It was indeed Portuguese. It had the Portuguese feel to it, but it wasn't one of our strongest songs. I have to be clear on that. And now we come to Ireland with the Mullins and When You Need Me. I did a top on this song on this year, I think, some years ago, and I had this song as my least favorite. Sorry to say, simply because the mixing of both voices didn't really work for me. Now I've begun to enjoy the song more. I still put my foot a little bit to the side because of the idea of the mixing of the voices. I still don't think it is ideal, but it has grown on me. It is nice. Uh, it is nice, a nice slow ballad with quite a strong finish. The finish was quite strong, but I think that the way both Mullins sang it really didn't help reaching the song's potential. I don't think that those voices were the best for a song like that. I think that with a different style of vocal, the song could have been improved. Caitlin says, not our finest entry. I'm very sorry when I say this, but it really wasn't. Even though that the 90s were the golden years of Ireland, and they truly were. And I really hope that they come back, those golden years, for you and for us. Because I would love to have all the fans back in Portugal sometime, or even go to Ireland. I would really enjoy the idea of one day going to Ireland, because I would really enjoy visiting the country. Austria with Bobby Singer and Reflection. This one, from the songs uh, that got into the category of language rule abolishment, whatever it is. As you see, my English is not the best by far. This one was one of the best. This is a very nice song. Reflection was very nice. It also had that country feel, a little bit like Denmark, but this one didn't feel as sad. It felt a little bit more uplifting, and that's why I really like the song. And Bobby sang it very well. The home country, Israel, with Eden and Happy Birthday, also known as Yom Huledet. It's simple. It's not a very special song, but how can I not enjoy this? It really has that idea of a party song. It really felt like a party over there in Israel, and I really have to enjoy that song because of it. It was really nice. I have to be honest. A very good home entry. I have to say. Now Malta with ×3 and Believe in Peace, with some of the most original lyrics I've ever seen. Being ironic. A part of me likes this one. The other part doesn't dislike it, but feels like it could have been a lot better, and it was a little bit too generic in a way. It was upbeat once again, but it feels to me like a song I have listened to 1,000 times before, and that's why I think that Malta should have sent something better back then, in that year, because they've been doing so well. The 90s were also so good for them. Uh, but I think that a lot of the countries that did very well in the 90s, when it came to 1999, and did I just repeat? Did I say 1999? I probably did. I'm so sorry. Um, I think that a lot of those countries they they played a little bit too safe, and the songs didn't really work in my perspective. Germany we was with Surprise and Reise nach Jerusalem. Kuduse Seyahat. Thank you very much. As you see, I'm not a German speaker. Thank you very much. Uh, I really enjoyed this one. This one was one of the ones that screamed special and different, and I think that's why it did so well in the contest. It came third. Yeah, exactly. It came third in the contest, and you can really see why. They also tried to pull a little bit of the sympathy vote by including some of the lyrics in Hebrew. It was a very nice idea, a very nice song, and very well deserved placing, I have to say. So well done, Germany. Bosnia and Herzegovina with Dino Merlin and Beatrice with Putnici. Dino Merlin, of course, the one who represented Bosnia in 2011 with Love and Rewind. A very good song as well. Manuel didn't hear this one, I believe, because of the some copyright issues, I believe. I've listened to this one before and I like it. It is also very, very different. The structure of the song isn't like anything I've ever heard before, I have to say. It was a very nice entry overall. I liked it. And I'm happy that the juries and the televote really stood by it and gave it a high score. I have to concur on that. The final song of the contest was Diamond of Night by Evelyn Samuel and Camille representing Estonia. And you can easily compare this one to some of the latter Estonian entries at Eurovision. Uh, for example, Randayad from 10 years after. It was nice. This one was nice. The way it was composed felt Estonian at Eurovision E. I hope you guys can see what I'm trying to say. Um, but it wasn't one of the best that they have brought. Even though it is nice, and they played a different card for their entry at Eurovision, and I think it worked because the people enjoyed it as well. Excuse me. Now that I've seen all of the and talked about all of the songs, I'll just take this moment to uh, ask you all if you have any favorites, like a top three from that year or a bottom three, so that we can share our opinions on our tops and bottoms, tops and bottoms, on our personal favorites and our, shall I say, least favorites. As I'll begin by declaring my bottom three, which I have to say are France, probably France, Norway, and Cyprus. I have to say those three countries for me were my bottom three from that year as of now, as of the time I'm speaking. Even though that probably tomorrow something will change because that's the way I am. And my three. Now that I have to think, hmm, I have a top two quite instantly, and it's the same as the one that has been for a long, long time. But probably I have to say my top three from that year were Turkey, Croatia, and Belgium. Belgium. It's funny how I said that I was trying to keep my comments in the same line of judgment, but it was hard for me not to completely go crazy about the Belgian song because it is one of my favorite Belgian songs at Eurovision ever. It is really, really beautiful. Vanessa is an amazing singer, an amazing artist. Uh, for me, this one was a crime that it got 12th. This one for me deserved a very, very high position at Eurovision that year. I think this was one of the cases of the curse of being the second one to perform. I think this one was one of those examples that didn't really deserve that, I have to say. So as I'm waiting for some of your guys' opinions on the live chat, I really want you guys to do so. As I'll finish this one for now. Probably next week I'll do another one. And I want you guys in the comments below after I post the live. I would love to see you all commenting on other Eurovision years you want me to talk about, to do exactly the same as I'm doing this one, and give me some suggestions of things I should do, what I can improve on, so that these things could become better, and I can still have more and more fun with all of you, because I do this for fun and I really want you guys to enjoy it as well with me and with all of you around the live chat. So that's it. This week has been different. Going back to the online classes, spending Easter at home with my grandparents all alone. It really felt different, and I really hope that everyone stays and keeps being responsible as they've been throughout this last month, because it really hasn't been easy for anyone. And I really hope that anytime soon this can all go away and people can have fun again on the streets, doing whatever they want, because I think we all deserve it. We deserve to have fun, and we deserve to live and to keep being alive. So everyone, this is my plea for today. Have fun as much as you can at home. Try doing different stuff. Do what you like. Don't matter what the others think, because you're pretty much the one who controls and decides in what you should do with your life. So this is my kind of advice for all of you. Have fun, stay safe, and anytime soon we'll be back for another live. João, já que você está aqui pela primeira vez, eu aproveito para lembrar também, eu tenho um concurso agora no meu canal de canções da Eurovisão. Eu ficaria muito contente se pudesse juntar. Eu ficaria mesmo muito contente, porque eu estou com o prazo do concurso até hoje à noite, mas provavelmente com a falta de participantes vai ser muito complicado. Eu vou ter que mudar a estrutura. Mas adorava ter-vos juntos para celebrarem mais uma vez comigo a Eurovisão, a história inteira da Eurovisão, porque a Eurovisão é muito mais do que o que se mostra agora destes últimos anos. I was just saying about my contest on my channel. I would love to see you all joining the contest. since I think it is another way for us to have fun and really enjoy the whole of Eurovision, the history of Eurovision as it once was and still is. Uh, so, everyone, thank you so much again for joining my live and talking with me on such a special uh, idea for me, and it's such a special time. And I really hope that you guys stay safe. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you all hopefully next week. Thank you so much for joining. Bye bye.